Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Listening to this debate, it strikes me that there's a few things that have been left out of this discussion, and I do support the gentleman from Florida's amendment, and I follow the ideology of this in the process. One of the things I would say to that is that as I listened to the gentleman from Tennessee address this subject matter and raise his voice pretty strongly about the allegations of Obama versus Russians versus Putin, I would make a couple of points on this. One is, it's pretty clear that the Obama administration sent their people over to Israel to work against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, pretty much openly. Significant dollars invested in that campaign over there. The President of the United States, with at least the moral support of the people that had worked for him in the country of Israel, seeking to shift the results of the election against the seated Prime Minister, Bibi Netanyahu. Then the gentleman, I won't yield. I have a lot of things I must say, but thank you. Then the gentleman did object to U.S. tax dollars being used. I just came back not that long ago from the Balkans, where I sat in a place like Macedonia, and there I learned that the United States government, borrowing money from China and Saudi Arabia, had handed over somewhere at least $5 million in contracts transferred through USAID into George Soros organizations that were used to manipulate elections in the Balkans. And that's just particularly Macedonia, not including the neighboring countries that are there. And some of that money was used to translate Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals into Macedonians to distribute the books, and the rules for radicals and the actions of radicals were manifested within the election efforts in that part of the world. So I would say that the Obama administration is a long ways from clean on this as far as being involved in elections in other countries, not to mention little comments like the British, if you vote Brexit, you're going to have to go to the back of the queue. So that's the taxpayer dollars piece of this. But the long string that we should be looking at with this investigation and special counsel that is our request here, it goes a long ways back. It goes clear back to Huma Abedin, Anthony Weiner, 650,000 emails, which we still have access to. And the question that was answered to us by James Comey, which is, there was nothing to see there. We did a fast software search of 650,000 emails, and in the case of Huma Abedin and Anthony Weiner sharing laptop and sharing emails, there was nothing new in 650,000 emails. And what we've done in this Congress so far is just taken his word for that. Now, it seemed fairly logical to take his word at the time until you examine the investigation that he conducted of Hillary Clinton. Oh, by the way, it was a matter. The investigation that had Cheryl Mills, her chief of staff, as her chief counsel in the room with Hillary Clinton, and both of them had a plea bargain of some kind. They were exempted from prosecution for some by limited terms, but in any case, when you have this chief of staff who's the subject of investigation too, there as counsel to the person who is the subject of the investigation, and we ask under oath, and I ask these questions of Comey, or of Loretta Lynch and Comey under oath, and that is, where's the copy of the transcript? Where's the audio files? Where's the video files? Who was in the room? We don't have the answers to any of that except no. If there were notes taken, we don't know whose they are or where they are. If there was any transcript of the deposition, then that doesn't exist either. Neither do the tapes of either audio or video. This is what looks like on its face is a sham investigation. Plus, they destroyed a tremendous amount of information, at least 30,000 emails, crushed hard drives, bought bleach bit, hired outside contractors to scrub the emails up, and we're to take James Comey's word for this, that there wasn't enough substance there to bring a prosecution, even though on a year ago, July 5th, James Comey delivered 15 minutes of the summary of a prosecution that was completely convincing to me, until they got down to the last couple of sentences of that presentation, which is, well, we can't prove intent. Well, curiously, there's no requirement for intent in the two statutes that appear to have been violated. And furthermore, I look back in the records to the previous October and the previous April, Barack Obama stated into the news media record, he said Hillary Clinton would never intend to put our national security at risk. Hillary Clinton would never intend to harm America's security. That's October and April, the previous October and April. Well, James Comey latched on to that word intend, and they made up new law and gave Hillary Clinton an exemption for this lack of intent that they said they couldn't prove which is absolutely proven by the facts that he delivered to us in the summary that day and that there is evidence for. And I would go on. Not only does this trail lead through Hillary Clinton and James Comey, but the Loretta Lynch component of this as well. When you put this in place and you look at the example of them on the tarmac, it's hard to imagine they sat there for 38 minutes and discussed grandchildren. I think that might even be singular grandchild at the time. We should check that. But the answers that we got from Loretta Lynch were far less than satisfying. And then that brings me to Alexandra Chalupa, who went off she's a DNC contractor that went off over to Ukraine to try to gather dirt on the Trump people. So bringing this around, Mr. Chairman, I'll conclude it with this, as my time will soon run out, and that is this, that the trail leads, I believe, also to Barack Obama. We need to investigate all of them.
Take the challenges facing young Americans today. First of all, if you're willing to work hard, you should be able to find a good job that pays well and lets you do what you love and make your mark in the world. That's why Tim Kaine and I have a plan to work with both parties and make a historic investment in good new jobs. We can create millions of jobs and make life a lot better by installing 500 million solar panels, building a cleaner, more resilient electric grid, not hold you back. But as you know better than most, tuition keeps going through the roof and debt keeps piling up. I understand that Temple was founded to democratize, diversify, and widen the reach of higher education. That is still a vital goal. So I worked with Bernie Sanders on a plan: public college, tuition-free for working families, and debt-free for everyone. And if you already have debt, we will help you refinance it. You're never on the hook for more than you can afford. You can actually see how much you and your family can save under our plan by looking at the college calculator at hillaryclinton.com. And here's something we don't talk about enough. A 4-year degree should not be the only path to a good job in America. About how hard it is to balance the demands of work and family in today's economy. Families look different today than they did decades ago. I think we can all agree. Most need 2 incomes just to get by. And many people now change jobs frequently and have wildly unpredictable schedules. Or they have to cobble together part-time work.
Reveals evidence of Mueller FBI's FISA oppression. As the investigation on the FBI surveillance practices has reached a certain amount of progress where it gets clearer than ever before that the Bureau has been breaking the law on several occasions. On Friday night, the House Intelligence Committee Chairman Representative Devin Nunes, RCA, spoke to Fox News host Catherine Herridge, where he revealed that his investigators have gained evidence that shows clear illegalities during the FBI's surveillance operations. Via the Gateway pundit, Representative Devin Nunes walked away from the House Intelligence Committee Russia probe in April after he said in a press conference in March that Trump and his associates were unmasked after viewing intelligence reports. Nunes then went to brief the president on the information in the intelligence reports before meeting with the Intelligence Committee. The left-wing lunatics came unglued and hit Nunes with a probe that lasted 8 months. Nunes slammed the accusations as entirely false and politically motivated. I believe there's evidence that abuses have occurred, Nunes explained to Herridge regarding the FISA courts. We have had an ongoing investigation into DOJ and FBI since midsummer for both FISA abuse and other matters that we can't get into too much. But it is very concerning. I hate to use the word corrupt, but they become so dirty that, who is watching the Watchmen? Who is investigating these people? There is no one. It's hard to believe that all of them. There was a very small circle that we're looking into the Trump dossier overall, Nunes stated. Via Fox News. Media was set ablaze Thursday after FBI Director Christopher Wray testified at a House Judiciary Committee oversight hearing. He defended the FBI against Trump's scorched earth tweets attacking the institution's corrupt leadership and refused to answer many key questions. All eyes are on Trump-hating and Hillary-loving FBI agent Peter Strzok. The disgraced agent was removed from Mueller's witch hunt after it was discovered he was sending anti-Trump text messages to his mistress FBI lawyer Lisa Page. Mueller covered up this scandal, which is a scandal in itself. With so many officials starting to return the hit, the deep state is crumbling piece by piece and Mueller is going down in history as one of the worst FBI directors ever.